Hey guys, this is a lad's garage video, even though I'm in the truck. Just wanted to give you guys a little foreshadow of this video. Um, Over the past couple months, I have tinkered more or less on the new race car, which I haven't really got a name for yet, but I have one in mind. But I have been tinkering with it over the past couple months, so this video is kind of, if there seems like there's things missing out of it or it skips some couple beats, that's because it probably does. My plans have changed several times during the build of this car, especially engine wise. So I wanted to wait until I had a running engine and was close to being ready to go racing to put this video out. This is the video of getting the car ready. Figure instead of multiple videos of repeating the same stuff over and over again that I've done several times, like on Intimidator and the old Leafer and all that, I figure one video. Next video will be getting the car set up and going to the track. This is the car that I'm trying to get together for the year. My name ain't Kylan Counts. That's my nephew. We did some trading. I had a metric car. Those that aren't familiar, I had a black metric car called Intimidator. I just thought it was a better fit for Kylan. I'm always trying to help Kylan and my other nephew, Caden, out. So I told him, I said, hey, you got this car sitting in the weeds. Bring it down here. Take Intimidator home with you. You get Intimidator together. You go race it. Go do good with it. I'll take this car out, and I'm going to go out and just have a good time. So my plan is to get an LS into this car, but I'm not ready financially for that. So we got a plan B. I may possibly have another engine lined up. Also, working with a deal with another buddy of mine. One of the things with doing this deal with this other possible engine is I told the guy I need to get the car movable on its own. Which right now with the tie rod off of it, it's not movable. So last, I was out here tinkering around and messing around, and they had a new tie rod on the car. A little longer than what it needs to be, but the stud end did not come up through the spindle all the way, enough to where you can get a castle, get your castle nut on there and you put a cotter pin through the hole. Long story short, I ended up stripping it out. So the big thing is, if we're going to do this other engine, I need to get the car rolling so that whenever I go get the engine, I can pull it straight out of the back of the truck and set it straight into the car. It's actually sitting in a late model right now, but it's a factory stock style motor. It's in a limited late model. So this is something that, going through tinkering with, trying to get the front end, get the toe kind of halfway straight on this. Come across this right here. So we're trying to move the wheel back and forth. I discovered, see how this piece here is pushing up, but this ain't coming up. Good sign a ball or tie rod is junk. I don't know if this is a special belt ball joint. That's a lot of bend. Upper's not as bad, but you can kind of see it's got a little bit of a arch in it. Well, if we're going this far in, might as well pull the bearing or the hub off the spindle and kind of look, make sure the spindle ain't cracked or broken. So far looking good. I think we can take it over to the parts washer and we'll clean it up real good. Perfect opportunity to pack the bearings and do all that too. So we might pull the bearings over to the parts washer and clean it up and just make sure everything's nice and tidy. We don't want no issues of front end parts flying off. All right, we got new upper and a new lower ball joint installed. We are currently getting things ready to put back together. Got making a debate within my spring debacle. Really going to change ride height, I think, if I go with this one. But you're going to get a different spring compression with this, with a taller spring versus both. This is it says 1,000 pound on it, but my understanding, when you cut them, you lose some of the pressure on them. So without actually testing the spring that was on the car, I don't know that I could trust the spring rating on it. Whereas these are all factory coiled springs. So this one's rated at 1050. This one is a 950 spring, and this one is 1,000. And there's some geometry and mathematics that go with springs that I don't understand, but I would think that this here would give me more left rear pressure, help me loosen the car up, hopefully get it into the corners a little better. Buster! Guard dog. You doing, Buster? So they've tried a lot of different things with this car to loosen it up on entry. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I've said it before, we're experimenting with this year. We're going to try different things. And, you know, I'm going to try different tire combinations. I'm going to start with 10-inch tires. I'm going to probably run some 8-inch tires. Maybe mix them, because I don't think the rules say I can't. We may try 10 inches on one side and 8 inches on the other. Maybe some 8-inch wheels on 10-inch, or 8-inch tires on 10-inch wheels and vice versa, just to see what kind of crazy stuff we can come up with. But we're going to start this spring here that we got on the front. It is definitely a major difference. I just pulled the dust cover off, or dust cap off of this wheel and off this hub, and there seems to be a very important thing missing. Now, a rule with racing is there's no such thing as a race-ready used race car. So what I'm going to say is, it don't matter if you're buying a car that you have worked on or anything like that. Go through and double check little things like, you know, make sure you got a nut on your, you know, a cotter pin on your wheel bearing nuts, because if one of them nuts come off going around track, which in theory it shouldn't ever come loose because the washers behind it have a groove in it, but whatever, freak things happen. And trust me, I have had some of the stupidest things happen to me, leading features. You know, I had a feature in a bag one night, and then going around the track, and air cleaner come off. The stud broke on the air cleaner, just random things. So, but something like that could not only hurt you, but, you know, if the hub comes off, wheel goes flying, another car could hit it. You know, not only is it a risk for you flipping, it's another risk for somebody else flipping. You know, there's a number of things. So check for things like that. You know, I'm not the safety guy here, but that's a big deal. Cotter key installed, new rotor installed. Got new rotors on both sides. I've been working on changing the fitment of the steering wheel. You can see I got a little bit of a gap here. Before, the steering wheel was back and set probably right here against my knees. I'm 6 foot tall. I think the tallest out of the Counts boys is probably 5'7", 5'8". Both of the Kylan was the last driver. Both of the boys drove this car, but Kylan was the last driver, and I think he's the shortest out of the Counts boys. Either way, there was like a 6-inch block behind the seat. I got to utilize all the driver compartment to fit in here. So with the way the pedals are mounted right at the moment, it is easier for me to move the steering closer to me and give me more leg room. I mean, I'm a lot more comfortable now, but I got to get the seat mounted. But before I can mount the seat, I had to get the steering wheel in a comfortable spot. Get a little better view. I got a little bit of gut here, but I still got at least a handful. My bibs stick out further than my seat will. So we got to get this mounted up, and car should be, I had to get some belts still, but car should be about ready to go. Seat is mounted. We got a sturdy steering shaft. I think we're gonna recruit some help and get this bar off. And it's way up there and I'm not fitting. And then we got the daggone door bar off. I think we're about ready for some cosmetic upgrades. This is probably the last time you'll see Lightning McQueen. All right, you ready? What do you think? Don't touch. You like the black?
No.
You don't?
I want it black and the back and the yellow.
Here we are, the 4th of July. We got an engine set down in the car. It is a 305 block. I know nothing about this engine other than it's a 305 block. Got double hump heads on it. I got my Holley carburetor, one of my shelf distributors in it. And we're trying to get this thing hopefully running either today or tomorrow or Sunday. One or the other. It'd be awesome to hear this thing fire today, being the 4th of July. American horsepower, American muscle, American redneck. But we are putting a carburetor stud for the air cleaner. I put a little thread tape for plumbing on the end that goes down in the carburetor. Got a lock nut on the top. Basically, an issue I've had a few times over the years, driving between my cars and driving other cars. Sometimes these suckers like to come loose out of the carburetor side versus on the nut coming loose on the top. Lose your air filter, leaving the feature. The car starts sucking in a bunch of dirt. You end up losing a feature. Don't ask me how I know, but it has happened to me. But what the thread sealer is going to do, or pipe tape, whatever you want to call it, is going to do versus using Loctite is it's going to tighten it up inside the carburetor, but it's not going to over tighten it to where you can't ever get it out again without screwing your carburetor up. So we're going to put it in there. I'm going to keep tinkering around on this thing. Goal is to get it to fire. I'm going to have to pull the I got a yoke in the back of the transmission. I'll have to pull it out before I fire it. I'm not going to worry about the radiator or anything else. That shouldn't take too long, I wouldn't think. But the goal is to hear this thing crank over, at least hit, maybe run for a few seconds. That'd be awesome. Oh, pressure test. Here it goes. Push it again.